Hey everyone, so I know it's been a while, for which I apologize. In the past year, I have actually been trying to dip my feet a little bit deeper into the health advocacy world, and I've co-founded an organization for young adults with cancer experience called Young Adult Cancer Connections. And in April, we hosted Philadelphia's first Young Adult Cancer Conference, all of which you can check out here at our website. And the reason I'm mentioning this is not just for a shameless plug, but also because I know from firsthand experience that F.A.P. tends to start rearing its ugly cancer head when people are young adults. So I do think this info is relevant to some F.A.P.ers out there. And also, for our keynote speaker, we had the incredible Suleika Jawad, who's written for the New York Times and has won an Emmy for documenting young adult cancer. So I definitely recommend you go check her out. But I'll stop talking about this now because I could go on for a while, and this video isn't about me, but rather about one of the ways you can get involved in health advocacy. And I'm talking about clinical trials, which I know is a scary word, but essentially a clinical trial is an investigation looking at the way we approach a particular disease. So it could be looking at a new medical treatment option for a disease, or looking to improve the quality of life for patients with a particular disease. And the reason clinical is tacked on there is because essentially it means that after lots of prior testing and much scrutiny, that this particular treatment is deemed ready to be looked at and how it works with humans. So usually a clinical trial goes through about 4 phases, starting with a small population of people who don't actually have the particular disease, just to determine, is this treatment safe in humans? And then, is this treatment effective in humans and doing what we want it to do? And then, what's a safe and effective dosage for this treatment? And then, what are the long-term effects of using this treatment? And then, ultimately, is this treatment better and more effective than what's currently on the market? And if it sort of passes all of these tests, then it'll be considered for FDA approval and potentially go to market. And now, because of all of these different phases, a clinical trial takes time and requires materials and money. So when pharma is looking into which clinical trials to invest in, generally they're looking at clinical trials that will impact the most number of people, because that means that there are more potential customers who will buy this treatment from them and that they'll recoup their investment much faster. Now, rare diseases like F.A.P. by their nature don't have a lot of people, so generally there aren't a lot of clinical trials for specifically rare diseases because there just aren't as many potential customers, and pharma doesn't see it as great of an investment. However, as I say this, there's currently an F.A.P. clinical trial going on right now. And this clinical trial is looking at whether or not 2 drugs, one of which is Sulindac, which I've mentioned here and I'm actually taking right now, and it's looking whether or not the combination of these 2 drugs is effective at preventing the progression of F.A.P. in the digestive tract. So looking to prevent and delay and even reduce the polyp load in the colon as well as the small intestine, and in doing so potentially delaying the need for surgery, whether it be having your colon removed or further surgeries for polyps in your small intestine. And this is huge because, as we know, the only currently approved treatment for F.A.P. is having your colon removed, which doesn't do anything for preventing the progression of F.A.P. elsewhere. And currently they have 90 people enrolled in this study, and they're looking for about 150 people with F.A.P., which I believe is totally doable. I think I have close to 150 people subscribed to me. And with any trial, there are these things called inclusion and exclusion criteria, which just help determine whether or not you're eligible to participate and whether or not it's safe for you to participate. So some of the inclusion criteria, you can have your colon or not have your colon, and as far as the exclusion criteria, there are things like if you're pregnant, if you have certain hearing loss or certain cardiac issues. I'm ineligible because of my desmoid tumor, They have all of this listed on their site, which I'll have the link below, but also I'll have the contact info for the study organizers, and if you're at all interested, I recommend that you contact them because they'll break it down for you. You don't need to be aware of any of this medical jargon. They'll make it really easy to determine whether or not you can participate in this trial. And in terms of where it's taking place, I believe there are 14 study centers within the States, as well as several other in Europe, so it's very likely there's one right down the street from you. And, you know, clinical trials are a commitment, absolutely. They do require time, but on the flip side, you get to help advance medicine. You know, participation in clinical trials is so vital because, you know, it helps to make this F.A.P. diagnosis less of a big deal for future generations, which is major. You know, even if you just go and check out the website for the trial, you're helping advance medicine. So cool. So I definitely encourage you to go check out the clinical trial, because let's face it, pharma has a lot of reasons not to invest in us already. Let's not give them another. Let's get involved and let's show them that the F.A.P. community is worth investing in. Alright, so please go check this trial out and have a great summer, and I will talk to you later.